unfortunately. We did miss then a minute or two, but hopefully we're back on time for the action as they are about to hit to the next age. Prometheus here for Kimo coming in. Ulysses is going to be a bit quicker because he did not go for hunting dogs. And they're both gathering the oracles around Kimo's hunt. So let's see if Ulysses can get some nice value here with the earlier age up. There we go. And Kimo's just trying to outlast with these villagers, try not to lose too much HP. And try and gather as much as he can until he gets his own valor up. And there we go. Now he can fight this off quite confidently. Promethean is on the way, but that's probably not that big of a deal because all of these units are heroes. Picked off one there, very nice. It's time for Ulysses to start backing off. Ooh, that's one very low oracle. He might be able to pick that off, but I'll take some hits onto this Promethean there. Going quite even. Ulysses is going to be the first one to get some Terma on the field, but Kimo is getting his units out quite quickly himself here as well. And once he gets Murmillos out, that should definitely turn the tide in his favor because the Murmillos are just so much better against Terma than Terma are. Another oracle that perished. Population is slightly in Ulysses' favor, but he does have to deal with the walking distance. And yeah, I don't think he can keep this up for too long here. This unit falling as well, potentially. Kimo is quite happily hunting still. He did not really take too much idle time here, just a little bit of damage. And, you know, he's got the hunting dogs going for him, so that's definitely still a big advantage that Ulysses just does not have right now, despite the fact that he is hunting on Giraffe as well. So that is probably something that he would like to get into now. Alright, some side raids coming in from Ulysses trying to keep up pressure somewhere else on the map. But Kimo is already in place to react and defend. And right now Kimo, all he has to do is just kind of sit back and take his advantage of just being able to hunt and having hunting dogs and maybe even get some other eco upgrades. Don't want to go too deep here and potentially throw your advantage if you can realize that he has one. Let's hope that he does. Another pick off there for Kimo. It's a nice win. Let's see if Ulysses... they just started typing. I would have liked to see what they said. Kimo's going to be able to raid potentially this place. This is just mass Terma. It's getting a bit difficult here, I think. The Terma is just not going to be able to fight against Murmillos in a big fight. Maybe he can try and kite some of them, but right now, I don't think he can. He can't fight this. No. There's a Shockwave. It doesn't get too many of them, but still, these numbers add up. And right now, if you look at the resources, Kimo is very much ahead in population and total resources. Ulysses is now coming out with a Caro Ballista. To try and turn the tide a bit in his favor, make these Murmillos less powerful. Any pick-off that Ulysses can get here is really good. Anything. And he can try and climb and crawl his back way into the population war. As he's 2 villagers behind right now as well, so his economy is definitely going to suffer over time. Still has not gotten any economic upgrades. Kimo is thinking about maybe doing a flank, but turns out he's not going to do that. He's going to come back. Maybe he spotted a unit somewhere. Yeah, Ulysses definitely does not want to engage here in any way or shape or form. Don't see any... Oh, there's a TC from Kimo. Kimo first want to take a TC. He's getting a Hanex and Pickaxe as well. I think that was a Valour. Oh, that's a good shockwave. There's going to be a pick-off, definitely. But I don't think he'll get more than that. Let's see what Ulysses is planning. He still is not going for a TC. And Kimo is checking it just to make sure that that is not happening. Right now, Ulysses has gone for full population, and unfortunately, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do much with it right now. This TC is going to go up, and by that time that Ulysses is ready to pressure a location, I think Kimo will be able to get up to full pop himself, as he has started reproducing units now, and even getting some other upgrades like Plow now, making some farms, Prometheans. It's got medium infantry as well. Potentially looking for some split raids. That's maybe a small little victory there for Ulysses, picking off maybe this hero Mamilo. There we go. It's a hero. Always worth picking that off. Kimo trying to come in here with this population advantage. But I think if Ulysses picks his fight, nice positioning here. Ooh, he's going to lose a Carabalista there. That's unfortunate. And maybe lose a few Terma. Getting caught a bit in the retreat. I was thinking maybe he could take a fight here if he had a nice positioning, but doesn't look like that is happening. He's going to have to move his units into a nicer position to take a fight here, and Kimo does not want to take any bad fights here either. He's looking on top of it. Got a couple units here that he could jump into his army. That's the second gold mine for Ulysses, although he does have this. But I think he's going here just to throw Kimo off a bit. But I think Kimo is quite happy right now not taking any big fights, and that will be a mistake for him because he can just go heroic. And it's very unlikely that Ulysses will be able to follow him very quickly. So in my opinion, that would be the best play for Kimo, is just go heroic and then use your heroic power spike. Be it Chaos or Dryads, whichever one. And just push with that advantage. But this does allow to Ulysses to try and get some map control back, as he kind of wants to fight, knowing that he's probably not going to be upping heroic anytime soon. He kind of wants to use his population. Small raid here on the top side. Potentially gets cleaned up here. There's 40% through Thea. Does have Hanex and Pickaxe now as well. But yeah, Kimo smartly just gonna decide to retreat until he absolutely knows he will be able to take a nice fight, even without heroic. Don't want to risk taking any fights you don't need to fight to take. So there we go. He possibly could even just jump straight Mythic. No, he's gonna take his Dryads, get his extra population from the 0 population costing Dryads to get a more overwhelming force and try and push with that. Ulysses is up Thea, so he's not that far behind right now. It's not too bad. There's still a bit of an opportunity for Kimo to get further ahead here with his Dryads, but... Ooh, this wall got got killed really quickly there because it was not finished. And now Kimo is forced off here. This is a nice little raid there. But that does mean there's less units in Ulysses' main army, and if Kimo's got everyone gathered together, he should definitely be able to win fights here. Termans are retreating, but the Mamillas are staying, so that's still 4 units that are not in the main army. Now the Dryads are knocking on the door. But Ulysses can always just switch to this gold mine. He kind of wants the hunt, really, I think, at this point. There we go. There's also Thea, but he's going to pick off a couple units for free. Was not the biggest advantage, and right now there's tower upgrade also here. Yeah, I don't think Kimo can take this fight. Yeah, he needs to retreat for now. He could also opt to just go mythic here again, looking at the resources. It's quite mythic-like. If he just drops down a market and sells 200 food, he's there. And I'm wondering, oh, he does have the market now, so that might be his play here. That again kind of means that he does not want to take any fights he doesn't need to until he's got Tartarian Gate. And that way you can force a fight while the Tartarian Gate does damage elsewhere. Right now that was a decent shockwave here, giving Ulysses a bit of a breather, I guess, allowing him to push out. And okay, yeah, there's a bit of a raid here on the top side. Gonna have to try and clean that up. So it's gonna be tough for Ulysses because, you know, he's still behind 4 villagers and he's nowhere near mythic. So he's gonna have to try and get a decent advantage now so he can deal with the Tartarian Gate later that he might or might not know is coming. This fight should once again favor him, and he's getting a bit of a raid done here, so that's nice, but I think Kimo needs to also start moving into position to get his Hecate. Well, maybe not just yet, but very soon. Okay, now it's Ulysses is gonna have to retreat here. The heavy Murmillos, no further upgrades, but they're still doing their job. Ulysses does have copper shields. Might not be as impactful here because there's not that many archers. This raid has been dealt with. There's one villager who died there, maybe more. But right now, there we go. Ramilla moving into position. Where's he gonna cast it? He's gonna cast it on top of here. Looks like Kimo did lose the fight here, so there's still potential for Ulysses to try and take the advantage here. And here comes the Tartarian Gate. I think Ulysses obviously knows it's coming. I mean, he's up Hecate, but he's running into the Tartarian Gate, or into a Hesperides tree. Does go down. So let's see what the plan is here for Ulysses. He's going to send everything back other than, well, just a couple of units. And yeah, you can't fight this with Atlantean villagers. That's definitely going to be very difficult. Kimo looks like he wants to do a split raid here onto this gold mine. But Ulysses should probably be able to win this fight here. So he's going to use the birds just to shoot down the Tartarian Gate and try and evacuate the villagers as much as he can. Here comes this raid. Kimo is not attacking the villagers though. Kimo's trying to take the 4TC, but unfortunately Ulysses did win this fight here, so he can deny that. Kimo coming in with his birds to try and kill the other birds. It's a bit of an attempt to keep the Tartarian Gate alive for longer. Hero Citizen does fall though, that's quite painful for Atlanteans. But, oh man, all the birds are dead. I mean, he came in with a couple of Arcas as well. So now this Tartarian Gate is really, really painful. It might be taking down this TC, and it will. What if it does not come through? And that's gonna be very difficult now, and even some farms are being picked off is actually quite painful here. He's gonna have to remake those somewhere else at some point. He is up Hecate himself though, so yeah, it's looking tough, but he might still be in if he can get his own Hecate off at a nice Nice position, and then rebuild and reclaim his home base. He might be back into an even position. But Kimo wants to pressure his advantage. He's got a couple units sitting here, but he's going to try and kill the palace. Does not commit to it because he will probably end up losing the fight if he stays there too long hitting a palace. Still, neither player have been able to take a third TC or a forward TC. Kimo once again trying. This time he might have a better chance of getting it built. Let's check some of the eco upgrades. Hand axe, irrigation, quarry. Kimo is actually slightly behind in eco, but he's getting flood control, so that should be fine. It's now Ulysses who needs to get into position for a Tartarian gate. He's sending these guys over. He's making sure this is not going to get built, but Kimo is getting this TC up. He's got a couple of millas to defend. One problem might be here is Kimo losing this Hesperides, although he does still have a backup over here, so that might not be too bad. So yeah, Ulysses is looking to cast it, but he does see these units, and Kimo is preparing fortified DCs, got tower upgrade. It's got all these units ready. They could probably just convert half of them to a hero and just clear out the Tartarian gate immediately. Well, he's only got 6 favor, but there it is. I think now Ulysses needs to try and get Masons ASAP. He's taking this TC, so hopefully he can get that up with the Tartarian gate going on. This TC is up for Kimo. Very nice. But the Tartarian gate is not going to be too painful. In fact, I'm not sure why Kimo is fighting this with his hero Momilo. I think you just attack the Tartarian gate. Might not matter all too much, but yeah. Right now, it's turning into a quite even game, but the advantage is still, at least in techs, I think, in Kimo's favor. Let's have a quick look at what the military techs are. Yeah, it's just copper shield still. Yeah. Okay, heavy infantry as well coming in from Ulysses. Kimo also getting some eco up, so overall still a very even game. Fortified TC is also coming through, and he is getting his home TC back up. It's still not quite there though. Could be denied, but I don't think Kimo's got the idea that he can take that down. He's probably thinking that it's probably already up by this point. I'm quite impressed at how Ulysses was able to stay in this game and, you know, bring it back to basically dead even positioning despite his early game. Ooh, there's a sky passage play here. Kimo's gonna start maybe building a palace around here. His units are going this way. I think he's looking to kill the TC, but gonna lose a villager over there. Now Ulysses is gonna try and counter this. But the beauty of this whole thing is he can just potentially move a villager over this side with a sky passage and then push off this gold mine while all of it is going on. No trade being made though. This is a very common thing to see by Atlanteans not making trade. I often wonder why that is. Because gold mines is actually quite a problem for both of them right now. They're quite low on gold, although Kimo did just spend all these upgrades, so it might be fine. Get some destroyers here, maybe gonna try and take down. Doesn't look like it. Architects even coming through. Does not want to lose any buildings. Maybe it could be worth putting down a palace over here somewhere to further secure this gold mine that he's gonna need, because this is running a bit low. And this is really his only other option. It's champion infantry here though by Kimo, and full copper against still just copper shield, so Kimo getting ahead in the tech race. Let's see if this is gonna pull up, work out for him. And so far I think it is. It's definitely looking quite good, this fight for Kimo. Dryads are falling. Still a quite close fight though. These destroyers are tanking a lot of damage here. Yeah, more reinforcements coming in. Yeah, Ulysses needs to unfortunately back off here. That's going to leave his gold mine exposed. Looks like he is going for a trade route. Oh, Kimo going for really aggressive sky passage. I'm not sure if that's going to go up, but if it is, that could be quite nice. Fanatics coming in the mix is really painful for Ulysses. He doesn't have a nice answer for it, other than just Arcus, I suppose. But he's going to have to get some of his own, I think. Still spamming the birds. Oh, it's Kimo now who's mining on the gold mine. Okay, Skypass is going up slightly further back, but still quite a nice position. He's going to be able to cut off this and the future trader that is being set up. These destroyers are really just tanking these Arcas super hard. Kimo's got a palace on this. It's looking really solid for Kimo right now. It's going to be very difficult for Ulysses to push back here. I almost think that he is going to have to make Caro Ballista again. They're not as good on Boobly as they are on EE, but they might still make, you know, their value worth it here, because this is just destroyers from Milos Fanatics. Let's say this pure infantry. If you can get some Caro Ballistas out with 1 or 2 line upgrades, that might still be able to help. Okay, so Ulysses is going for this gold mine now. He's losing villagers on this side. Unfortunately, Ulysses is still struggling on gold. He's not able to get all his armory upgrades, and Kimo's taking this opportunity to just wipe down this TC. He's got heaps of destroyers anyway. There it goes. And that's the game. GG. That is a 1-0 in Kimo's favor. Ulysses playing Zeus here on Medit, which is his pick. He picked Zeus. And here we have Kimo actually going Oranos here. I was actually kind of expecting this to be the reverse, being that Ulysses would play the Atlantean and Kimo going for the Greek, but it turns out Kimo is going with Kronos. Very nice. Unfortunately, Matt, it is not Oranos versus Ra. So yeah. There is unfortunately not too much we can look at just yet. Just players doing their builds, obviously. Let's see if Ulysses can maybe lure in this boar. think it is in a decent position. He could maybe get it up to like here with a small amount of walking distance. Looks like Kimo is able to lure in his boar. And yeah, okay, there's the bolt on the Oracle to delay the deconstruct. Very interesting use there. I suppose that's not too bad, because Kimo probably didn't expect that to happen, so he doesn't have any other oracles in place to try and just deconstruct it immediately anyways. So he's going to have to walk back, and it will take quite a long time before he is there. Past 2 minutes, and maybe by that time we will be, yeah, it won't be as impactful anymore, basically. So there we go. He's going to force drop his fish. Needs to quickly run over a new villager to try and build another dock. Did not get... oh, well, this one didn't have any fish. Suppose that doesn't matter too much. So where is that temple? Coming up now, I think, by Kimo. He's making another fishing boat. Go 5. That should be number 6. This is obviously still only on 4 because his deconstruction. He might actually make even more fishing ships. Maybe it's time for a temple. So temple coming up for Ulysses. There's Kimo's temple. Is that going to be up on time for the age up? I mean, it might be, because I think his villager is not lined up for a 4:30 here. He's going to be a bit delayed. So then delaying your temple also does not matter too much. This is not actually making any more vills. He's looking to force drop now. There we go. He's going through. Athena it is. Going through Athena. Okay. Well, to be fair, Zeus doesn't have any bad minor god options to go through here for Medit, but like Matreus is saying, Hermes here might be quite nice against the Chronos. Just to get your dock situation early on. Reduce the pressure, just get your triremes out, get enough fish for your villagers to be pumping. I guess just smoothen out your boat production. There is no hand axe yet for Ulysses. Third dock is up, so that should be quite good to go against the Chronos, especially because his deconstruct was so late. The second one is going to come even later. There's the hand axe for Ulysses. Three docks as well for Kimo, so he's going to be pumping quite harsh. There's the oracles. He's going to keep them in his base, I think, because he's quite scared of the hero pressure, which Ulysses is going for, which is probably a good thing to do here because it's quite rough for Atlanteans to deal with it. Right, a bit of a harass here is going to force the ships to garrison. And I think Ulysses is just hiding his boats for now as well. But yeah, making those early heroes is gonna hurt his production just a bit at least. Prometheans are coming through. Might be quite a pain to deal with because his heroes are off to do something else. Yeah, Ulysses is gonna have to start ungarrisoning his fishing boats because he's only got 90 food right now. That means after this villager he's got nothing. No more food to produce. Prometheans being the pain as you would expect them to be. So far, I think Kimo is still making boats. Odysseus now going to be putting on some pain on these villagers as well. Here we go, by Reams. One trireme did get out, and it's going to deconstruct this dock. Let's see what's going to happen. It might force Ulysses to start... Yeah, well, it's only one in this dock. If he deconstructed this dock, then it's completely forced to try and fight water right now, which he's not ready to. More villagers being harassed over here. And on the other side, that is an Addy citizen definitely dead here. So that's all going on all at the same time, and it's quite intense to keep all of this up. One Prometheum has fallen there. Ulysses is now officially on the water, but still quite outnumbered. The Minotaur has died. But the water fight is going to be absolutely one-sided, it looks like so far. Ulysses is going to have to retreat here. And he's not making boats from the second dock. That is very unfortunate. He's going to have to try and fix that ASAP. 3 Murmillos now as well for Kimo. He should be quite capable of defeating this early hero pressure now. There is the restoration. But is it enough? It's still only 8 boats against 13. 14 here, the next one incoming. So let's see. Ulysses is still not making boats from the second dock. I hope he realizes that on time. And it's going to be quite a problem here as well now that the Kronos has got the land units. He can start harassing the Greek wood lines as well with those once the heroes are dealt with. Yeah, he's still not producing triremes here. This fight going quite evenly because these docks are both fighting as well, shooting at the biremes. So they're taking a lot of damage, but also, yeah, Ulysses doesn't have any boats left. He's down to 37 population. The heroes have been dealt with. So we're going to pick up a relic over there. And Ulysses is going to gather triremes into his dock to try and come back on water later. Yeah, he's going to have to go onto Boar because he's literally not making any villagers right now. So have to see if he can force drop that on time. And right now, what can Kimo do? He can do anything he wants. He can just go grab a TC or go heroic or... Yeah, here comes the hero Murmillo. This is going to become really difficult for Ulysses now. Oh, managed to save it. Oh, maybe not. Oh, could have definitely picked that one off. Yeah. Unsure what Ulysses should be doing here right now. I think, yeah, just I guess going for the water comeback is really his only play. To try and get fishing eco that way and then go classic fight to try and defend his gold mine, because by the time this water fight is won, I think Kimo can just pressure land. He's going for TC now himself. Ulysses is doing some decent water micro, but again, he's simply just outnumbered massively here. 9 against 21 ships. No matter how good your micro is, you can't win that kind of outnumbering. Yeah, this is looking very difficult here. Okay, and that's Ulysses tapping out. That means we've got Kimo taking this 2-0. Damn, very strong play by Kimo here, and he's looking in a good shape. Matreus should be scared. And I believe that means we're gonna get our bronze match being Ulysses against Moore, which would be a best of 3 as well. And then we should jump into the finals, which is now going to be Kimo against Matreus. Awesome. All right. Just a quick look at the post game for those who are interested, but I don't think there's anything too significant to see here.
We want to thank our MetaPlace website subscribers. Your contribution helps us keep hosting events. As we reach higher subscription goals, we can increase the prize pools of the events we host. Check out our subscription page using the link in the description, and remember to collect your perks. We will see you the next time.